Hey you guys, so today we are looking at this, which is a G.I Joe classified series, Crimson Guard. Yes, I was such a big fan of G.I Joe, Action Force, whatever you want to call it, when I was a kid. And this was one of my all-time favourite characters, one of my favourite figures. I think I picked the original one up on holiday the first time I ever went to the US. I had a friend who was mad for them, and he asked me, we collected them. And he said, if you see anyone out there, get them. And I went into a KB Toys, and they had them on special. They were like $1.99. And they were $1.99, and the exchange rate at the time was $1.50 to £1. And I bought a shed load. I filled my suitcase with them. And when I got back, he gave me a lot of money for them. I made a mint out of him. Sorry if you're out there watching this and you know who I am. But yeah, you got some figures now that are worth a lot of money. So hopefully, fingers crossed, he kept them. And I know he collected comics, and I remember him bringing in a first appearance of the Punisher round that he'd spent a lot of money on. But anyway, so we're looking at this figure today. This is, like I said, the Crimson Guard. We have the details and stuff down the side there. This says 50 on the bottom, so I'm presuming it's number 50. I was trying my best to stay away from buying another range of figures, but I just these are the figures that I loved as a kid. I'm looking at these now, wishing I've got Spirit Iron Knife, Storm Shadow, Major Blood, and yeah, that's it. I've got the three so far, and this guy. So I may have to backtrack and try and pick up some of the other ones. I think this is going to be an interesting figure. Stuff on the top, legalese on the bottom, barcode. Get the barcode, so I'll do it that way. There you go, just for those who wanted the barcode. Yes. So let me just... Actually, I'll be honest. I already opened it. I've had this since before Christmas, so I did sort of just open the bottom of the box and slide him out to have a look. It is a cool figure. So, there we go. There's the Cobra logo on the background. Oh, the box fell over. Right, so we have the man himself. I absolutely loved the Marvel comics as a kid. I used to collect comics, but I used to buy like from a local paper shop. And I used to get like the Spider-Mans, the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, the Avengers West Coast, things like that. And they didn't do the G.I Joe comics. I had to go into town for those. But I eventually dropped most of the other comics because it got messy. We had, what was it, Inferno and some other stuff. And it started to be that you couldn't just read one story. You had to read 5 comics just to get one story. So I dropped comics, but I did not drop G.I Joe because they were their own universe, and it was a pretty cool universe. I remember the battle for Springfield. So we have a little clip. Right, so let's have a look at the figure itself. So there he is. As a kid, I thought that there was a mistake with this, because the one I had as a kid obviously had the black face with the silver slit, and I always thought it should have been the other way around. It should have been a silver face with a black slit, but I guess this was right. I'm trying to remember now. I should have googled it. Was it Harry? Were there all the Crimson Guardmen called Harry? You did tell me in the comments at the bottom. I know it was a battle for Springfield and things like that. But yeah, all the Crimson Guard were called Harry. I keep having to call them Crimson Guardsmen because there's more than one of them, but it's Crimson Guard. I'm just going to try and say Crimson Guard. So excuse me if I do say Crimson Guardsmen. It's an English thing. I ran in trouble for saying one of the other videos I said somebody's name wrong. I'm not even going to attempt to say it now because I just think it's my accent. Us people in the UK, we speak with a slight accent. So yeah, let's have a look at the figure. So yeah, forward, tilt, back, side to side, swivel all the way around. There is the butterfly joint in there, but it really doesn't move much because obviously this bit kind of gets in the way. But they've still put it in there. And ab crunchy stuff. Pinless joints again, and it gets reasonably, not all the way up, but it gets near enough. It gets close enough for posing, you know, as we'd want it. Right, straighten that out. It has that strange crunch thing in the middle again. I'm getting used to this. I was a bit at the beginning, but I'm kind of getting used to it. Quite a lot forward, quite a lot back. There we go. There is swivel in the waist as well. The belt is rubber and is manoeuvrable, which is nice. It is not pinned in anywhere. This is rubber as well, so it is slightly more manoeuvrable than the original, which I think was just like moulded on there. Leg out, leg down. There is also a drop there to the thigh. Swivel. This bit is disconnectable, so you can move that up and down, which is nice. I'm sure some people will be taking that off if they need to. But yeah, the belt's got a swivel to it. The knees, I've got a nice amount of, there we go, up to there. Yeah. And nice swivel in the boot so you can get a little bit of posability in action poses. I'm liking this. I'm looking at this and it's, I don't know, he's got his head there like that. It's got a real, you looking at me? You talking to me? Kind of looked at him. Yeah, it is nice. So let's have a close up. There we go. The helmet, pretty nice. Oh, that looks a bit like a padlock on the top there. I do like this. This is very shiny. The belt, I can say with the on it. On the pouches. Knee pads. Now I did say earlier in the video that I'd stayed away from G.I Joe, mainly because they weren't making G.I Joes like the originals. This is like the originals. Spirit and Knife, Storm Shadow, Made to Blood that I've got are like the originals. So now that they've changed track, it's the nostalgia thing. That's why we're collecting these. It's either for the figures we didn't have as kids or the figures we had as kids that we don't have anymore. I do have mine. There is a drawer at my mum's. There is a drawer full of G.I Joe figures. Some of the elastic bands have gone in them, but yeah. And even detail on the inside there, which is pretty cool. You need to put that in there, but they did. So that plugs in on the back there. There is a hole on this side and a peg on that side, so I'm guessing that the scabbard for the sword goes on one side and the rifle will plug in on the other. Well, we've got the rifle in my hand. It is kind of humorous to me that when they started doing these, they were making the weapons look like Nerf guns. And the only figure I remember having as a kid who had a gun that didn't look that real was the Crimson Guard. This one now has a real, no, putting that the wrong way around, the clip. And you can see it's even got a little bullet. You can see, focus. Yep, got a bullet on the end there. Like so. Now somebody will tell me what kind of rifle this is. I'm guessing it's some kind of M16. Yeah. With the blade on the end there. Which the original one had a knife on it. We have a little pistol. And a knife with a like Cobra logo on the top. And a sword, again with the same kind of, you can see that, the snake head on it. The scabbard for the sword to go into. So, and that will either plug in on the backpack there, or plug in. See that this is so that you can make him look a little bit more, I suppose, more ceremonial. You could have him stood, because these were kind of the elite Cobra Troopers. You could have him stood like that next to Cobra Commander as like a guard for him. I am really going to have to find my comics of these guys because I love them, and I googled the other night. They don't do like a collection comic of them, you know, like a graphic novel thing. But I still have my original, so I will read them. The Battle for Springfield was brilliant. Cobra Island was great. So the pistol goes in there like so. The rifle will fit in the hand. I guess the pistol will go in that one as well. We also have the knife, which goes in there like that. Straighten the belt a little bit. We've got anything else? Oh, and that. We'll put that on there for now. So yeah. I like it. I really do. I really do like it. He comes in at about 16.5 centimeters, or about just a little bit under 6.5 inches. So yeah, the usual size for these figures. We'll just swivel that around there. Excuse me. It's a shame that they don't give a separate hand that's more for holding that bit, but sorry, it's cold in here. I guess as a kid you used to do it like that, so it's kind of keeping the original design going. We have Major Blood and Spirit, Iron Knife, and Storm Shadow. So yeah, I think it's kind of weird because Storm Shadow is a little bit shorter. There is difference in height, which is nice. Yeah, it's nice. So yeah, I am impressed with this figure. I am, I guess, going to be buying some more G.I Joes. They had Zatanna. No, is it Zatanna? Zat and Sister. Name's going out of my head. But they had that, Dusty and Bazooka. And I was kind of like, ooh, Bazooka and Dusty. They all attracted me. But at the minute, times are difficult. So anyway, this is, like I say, a great figure and is definitely going to get pride of place on my collection. It's got a bit of weight to it as well. Yeah, it's definitely going to get pride of place in the collection. It brings back such wonderful, joyful memories of my childhood. I say childhood, I was teenage years. Teenage years. I was, the G.I Joe were the figures that I was buying when I should have been, you know, growing up, as they say. But, who cares? I tried being a grown-up. Worst 25 minutes of my life. Yes. So yeah, that is it. This video is pretty much over. I'm going to do that thing I usually do at the end. Like, share, subscribe, you know, all the stuff down there. If you're new here, please subscribe. It really, really helps the channel. Watch the video a couple of times. That also helps the channel. Yeah, this is the January and February. This is, as I'm filming this, it's January. Is a weird time for YouTube because it goes very quiet. Because people, November, December is usually busier because people are looking for stuff to do with Christmas. And it's a good way to find out what you want. So this time of year is quiet. So please, please, please go out and watch some of your YouTube favourites on there just to give them a hand. Yeah, because we all need some views. It makes it a little bit demoralising when you looked. I looked how much I'd made yesterday and it was £1.25, which is not great. But anyway, I'm waffling. So, like I say, this is a great figure. I am definitely going to be getting some more G.I Joes. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you all have a great day. Hope you all have a great night. And we'll see you all in the next video. Bye now.